Along with Doug Collins, this is Bob Neal from Salt Lake City, Utah. You're looking at the Salt Palace, where yesterday afternoon, the Utah Jazz defeated the Portland Trail Blazers. The Trail Blazers, who are 2-1 leaders in this series, are of course one of the favorites to win the NBA championship this year. And the Trail Blazers were one of the best, as a matter of fact, the best road team in the NBA in the regular season in 1991. But Doug, everybody's starting to talk about it. Can the Blazers win it on the road?
Bob, one of the things that Portland is, they're a very, very emotional team, and they really play off the crowd there in Portland. They've had trouble on the road. They have not showed the emotion, the intensity needed to win in the playoffs. When you start playing against these higher-level teams, you've got to find a way every night to get yourself ready to play. And you look at it right here, at home averaging almost 116 points a game. They're undefeated. On the road, they have not won, averaging 96 points a game, which tells you they are not running, not doing the things they did in the regular season when they blew people away to the best record in the league.
And you get a little bit of the idea of the difficulty here at the Salt Palace, one of the best home records in the NBA. The noise can be deafening in this building. Another factor about Portland out-rebounded Utah during the regular season. Once again, yesterday and the day before that, the game before that, Utah now out-rebounding Portland.
Well, defensive rebounding is one way you get your running game going. Utah, not normally a good offensive rebounding team. They had 17 offensive rebounds yesterday. When you look at the rebounding in this series, you're going to see what has transpired. On the season series, regular season, Blazers out-rebounded the Jazz 9. Now we go to game 1. They out-rebound them 14 in a 20-point win. Game 2, in a 2-point win where they blew a 23-point lead in the fourth quarter, they got out-rebounded by 15 yesterday in a 6-point loss by 10. So in the last 2 ball games, they've been out-rebounded by 25 rebounds. They need to change that tonight. Rebounding is a hustle stat.
You know, if you were to compare the benches of these teams to cars, you might say Portland's the luxury car, Utah's been the pickup truck. But out here in Utah, the pickup truck bench of the Utah Jazz has been playing very well. They out-rebounded Portland yesterday off the bench.
Well, you know, Bob, you talk about when you play back-to-back games, you say the longer bench is supposed to be more effective. We'll find out tonight. Danny Ainge, Walter Davis is acquired in trades. You throw in there the other player that they come off the bench with, Cliff Robinson, who's now a young player in his second year in the league. They are supposed to outplay Mike Brown, Delaney Rudd, and Thurl Bailey. That did not happen yesterday.
Well, you hear what Portland has to put up with to play in this building. It's deafening. We'll be back for this loud building and a good ball game right after this. Ready for the starting lineups between the Blazers and the Jazz. Williams, Kersey, Duckworth, Drexler, and Porter. Malone, Stockton, Eaton, Edwards, and Malone. The Blazers leading in the series 2-1, but the Jazz got the victory yesterday here at the Salt Palace. The Jeep Eagle starting lineups. And we're about ready to tip this thing off here at the Salt Palace. I might make a technical note here. At the beginning of the game, the shot clocks that are normally above the basket are not functioning properly. So we're back, as Jess Kersey said, to the archaic days when Doug Collins played.
Yeah, that was nice.
To putting the shot clocks in the corner on the floor. You'll note them over on the left side of your screen.
Let's see if the Jazz go right into their money play. Karl Malone.
They did, and Malone misses the jump shot. He hit a jump shot to open yesterday's ball game scoring for the Jazz. Porter being defended by John Stockton. 10 to shoot for Portland. Porter on the drive over Eaton. Rebound Drexler. There's that offensive rebound. Buck Williams against Karl Malone. Kicks it on the sideline, lost out of bounds with 13 on the shot clock.
And that's a matchup to watch. Buck Williams against Karl Malone. Karl Malone, the better offensive player, but Buck Williams, the Utah Jazz coaching staff feels does as good a job against Karl Malone as anyone in the league.
Clyde Drexler averaging a triple-double during the playoffs, but he struggled in game number 3. Duckworth open from 14.
That's the shot he's going to have to make. They're not going to be able to post up Mark Eaton with Duckworth. In the series, Duckworth shooting only 37%. He's got to come out on the floor and make the little 15-foot jump shot.
Karl Malone, who had 21 rebounds yesterday. Mark Eaton, who was in early foul trouble. And John Stockton, who runs the show. Malone against Buck Williams. Into Mark Eaton. The hook shot from Eaton won't fall. Rebound Porter. Kersey on the run. The reverse doesn't fall. Jeff Malone with the rebound. Porter with the near steal. Isolate the side for Karl Malone. He tries to post up Jeff Malone down inside. There'll be 6 seconds to shoot for Utah.
Now, with these shot clocks in the corner rather than at the top of the basket, there's going to have to be a lot of help on the floor and from the bench to let these players know when the clock is winding down. Your natural look is to look up, and it's not going to be there for you tonight.
A team like Utah that might want to shorten the game by running the clock, it could be really significant.
They're going to have to really communicate with each other.
Drexler misses the three. Buck Williams with the rebound. Eaton with the block. Another block. That's 2. But Clyde Drexler finally gets at the offensive boards, and the offensive attack on the basket going Portland's way early. They lead 4-0.
Well, you have to like what Portland's doing right now. They're relentless on the offensive board. That's something they did not do yesterday.
Blue Edwards from the corner. That's a part of his game that he's added, making him a much more valuable offensive cog.
He only shot 5 for 13 in the ball game yesterday, but he got off to a quick start 4 of his first 5.
The foul on Edwards as Porter tries to drive.
This is why Mark Eaton is in the ball game. His presence underneath the basket. He blocks 2 shots in this sequence. There's one. The rebound is going to come, and he's going to get the other one before Drexler lays the ball in.
As Buck Williams misses the 10-footer, the defensive rebound goes to Utah. John Stockton on the drive. How did that go in? It's tied at 4. Porter looked over at Ronnie Nunn and said, how about the call? Didn't get it. 13 seconds to shoot. Porter blows right by John Stockton that time for the uncontested layup.
It's a great matchup of point guards. You have 2 very different kind of guards. Terry Porter, very strong, looks to go out and shoot the 3-point shot. Stockton, a quick penetrator, loves to pass, specifically to Karl Malone.
Like that. Karl Malone with the power jam. The mailman tied at 6. Jerome Kersey looking for Williams, posted against Karl Malone. They reverse it to Porter. Now to Duckworth. Has trouble down low against Eaton, as you might imagine.
See, he's going to have a tough time getting that shot off. That's why he's going to shoot 37%. I know Duckworth wants to post up against Eaton, but Eaton is so gigantic, and he's big, and he muscles you. He's not only tall, but he's big, and you just can't see around him. It's going to be tough for him to score in there.
Mark Eaton, the man mountain, is 7'4", 290 pounds. Portland 3 of 9, but they've been banging the offensive boards. The foul on Drexler. 8:13 to go, first quarter. It's tied at 6. Portland and Utah, game 4. Portland leading 2-1. But Portland has not won a playoff game on the road. Surprised by the pass.
Well, that pass was not meant for him. John Stockton cut back door, and he tried to find him, and Eaton was so big he couldn't throw over his own teammate.
Jeff Malone kicking it out to Edwards. Steele. Terry Porter has Drexler and Kersey out in front.
Now, this was where Buck Williams is effective. He's the 4th man down on the break. That's where he scores. You get Kersey on one wing, Drexler on the other, and Buck Williams as the 4th lane filler. That's where he's at his best in this Portland offense.
Portland leads 8-6, 7:45 to go, first quarter. 1 team foul apiece. Inside the blue, Edwards. Outstanding jumper. Jeff Malone into the lane. His little fall-away floater in the paint.
Well, he loves to shoot going left, and he loves to shoot that fadeaway shot where you really can't get to it. It's a one-legged shot in the lane that's very difficult to defend.
Tied at 8. Buck Williams pounding inside. The baby hook won't fall. Out of bounds off Kersey. He doesn't like that call at all.
Well, it's going to go against Karl Malone. Paul Mihalik has got the wrong guy, so it'll be Portland's ball.
He had to suffer the ire of Kersey.
Here's what you have to do now. When Eaton comes over to block a lot of shots, that means whoever's playing him has got to become a rebounder. So whoever Mark Eaton is playing, that time it was Duckworth, somebody's got to come to the boards. Kersey got there and was able to get the second shot. Portland already 6 rebounds in the first quarter, so when you're not shooting well, make sure you get multiple shots.
Jess Kersey, Paul Mihalik, Ronnie Nunn are officials, by the way, and justice has been done. Portland has the ball. Kersey's fadeaway jumper falls.
Jerome Kersey is not known for his outside shooting. He shoots it just well enough, so you have to play him, but he really would like to go to the basket. Yesterday, he only shot 4 for 15 for 15 points.
10 points for Portland, 2 from each starter. Blazers by 2. Shot clock to 9 seconds. Now to 7. Malone into the lane, and he'll go to the foul line. Something he did not do in the first half yesterday. We have a timeout on the floor with 6:43 to go in the first quarter. Here's the Portland Trailblazer break in action.
Well, here's actually the first lane right here. Portland on the push, and he's going to throw ahead to Clyde Drexler. Clyde Drexler's in the right wing. We see him there, and you've got him now in this kind of position, and we roll it ahead. And here comes Buck Williams right here in the 4th lane. You really don't even see Kersey. He's out here somewhere in his 3rd lane, and you'll see it when we finish up the play. There's Buck Williams, and here's Jerome Kersey over here. So the 4-lane break that gives Buck Williams an opportunity to get out and get an easy basket.
The Blazers lead at 10-8. All 5 starters have scored. And the reason Utah has only 8 is their center, Eaton, has not scored. Happy Mother's Day to everybody around the United States, particularly our particular mothers.
Absolutely. And our wives.
Who are also mothers. A lot of moms have been treated to a basketball game by some fast-thinking sons and husbands here tonight. Happy Mother's Day. Here's a couple of tickets to tonight's game.
I know you got a big day tomorrow, your son's graduation, so good luck with that on your trip back to Atlanta.
Thank you. I'm going to red-eye to watch my son Rob graduate from Emory Law School. Very proud of him.
Here's Karl Malone. We see in this series 21 points, 16, 40 points in game 2 when they made the comeback shot. 22 free throws in that ball game. And in the big game yesterday, although he did not shoot well, only 8 for 24 from the floor yesterday, but still had a big scoring day and also with 21 rebounds.
Karl Malone getting to the line has been a way he's made a living this year. He led the NBA in trips to the free throw line. Tied at 10. Stockton with the long rebound off the Kersey miss. John Stockton gets it inside, but doesn't get the hoop to fall. Duckworth.
Someone's got to stay back with Stockton now. They'll throw back down the floor, so you got to stay back with him.
It's 12-10 Portland. 6 minutes to go first quarter. 12,616 have sold out the Salt Palace, one of the smallest arenas in the NBA. Jeff Malone on the drive. Duckworth with the block. 10 on the shot clock.
Nice offside defense by Kevin Duckworth that time. A little circle, you curl the guard off of Karl Malone. He gets hung up. You see it, and here's Duckworth. He's got to be the protector back there, and he does a nice job.
Only 5 seconds for Utah to shoot the ball. Malone for 3.
Got to let him to go on the fast break now. Long shots, long rebounds. Should get a fast break opportunity here.
Here's what they call the continuity. They get the break, stop it, and then wheel it around again for the quick shot. Duckworth. Drexler.
Drexler's done a great job on the boards.
Porter with a beautiful pass, surprising Duckworth a bit, but he recovered and got the basket. Duckworth has 4 points.
You know, you look at Clyde Drexler, he's shooting 38% in this series, Bob, but 10 rebounds, 10 assists, almost 3 block shots a game. He's playing every phase of the game very, very well, just not shooting well right now.
Jeff Malone, somebody they have to get into the game flow with his perimeter jumpers, misses this time. Blazers by 4. Shot clock to 10 for Portland. And the bad pass from Drexler. They just misread each other as he and Porter discuss it. And Thurl Bailey is going to get into the game. The Utah 6-man who struggled a lot toward the end of the season, but came up pretty big in game 3 yesterday.
He played well yesterday. He did not shoot well. He was 4 for 13, had 11.6 rebounds. But he and Blue Edwards as a combination must give them good numbers. Yesterday they gave them 21 points off the bench, was real key.
Jeff Malone into Karl Malone. The fadeaway jumper from the mailman in and out of there. Eaton can't keep it alive. It's controlled by Duckworth. And once again, Portland running.
The Jazz are doing a good job getting back, though, to thwart their initial play. That was just a secondary fast break there. But they're getting back initially to take away the quick run out. It's a secondary break that's really hurt them.
That's the biggest lead of the game for Portland, a lead of 6. They've gone on a 6-0 run with 4:24 to go in the first quarter, and Jerry Sloan in Utah get a timeout. Trailblazers on a 6-0 run over the Jazz. Terry Porter has 6 of those 16 points, and offensively, Portland said they needed to go to the boards, and they are doing that. 5-1 offensive rebounding edge at this point in the game.
What I really like, though, is their defense. They're doing a good job defending. They're giving up no second shots. They've done a good job pushing Karl Malone away from where he really likes to post up. He's been a jump shooter here early in the game. That will also keep him off the free throw line. I really look for the Jazz in this timeout to try to get the ball in low to Karl Malone rather than have him take a jump shot. So we'll see if they come out with that little play they like to run, screen across, bring him to the post, let him get great post position, maybe draw a foul or get a layup.
Utah has missed 6 consecutive field goal attempts. Earl Bailey posted down low against Kersey, and while everybody's battling for position, John Stockton sneaked in the back door. He has 4 points.
Well, Stockton will do that to you. You expect him to run over there and run the play. That time he just turned the corner, so nice play out of the timeout.
Drexler misses, Eaton rebounds. Porter just ran over Stockton trying to cut to the hoop on that play. Stockton in to Malone for the drive and the floater.
That fading jump shot going to the left. What an acquisition Jeff Malone has been in the playoffs for this team, doing a great job.
Blazers down by 2. They've scored 2 consecutive baskets following the timeout. Buck Williams against Karl Malone. The spin-in move, Buck Williams gets it to fall.
Now, I love making Karl Malone play defense. He already has 1 foul. You go inside to Buck Williams. You'll also make him play defense, expend some energy rather than make him play only one end of the floor.
Inside to Malone. Inside of Buck Williams.
That's what you have to do. You don't want Karl Malone shooting too many jump shots. Good post position, beautiful pass, great execution.
Malone with 6. Kersey from only about 8 feet gets the shooter's roll, and it's 20-16. Pretty high-scoring first quarter. The last 5 minutes, 20-16, 3 minutes remaining. Inside to Malone, who had lost Kersey. He missed the lay-in. Cross court to Duckworth over Eaton. 6 points for Duckworth.
Kevin Duckworth's got to get back on defense. He's upset. He thought he got fouled. He's got to get back and forget about that. He made the shot.
That's just what his teammates were saying. There's the middle open. Stockton had the open shot, simply missed it. Blazers by 6. That matches their biggest lead in this first quarter. Blazers look more animated, more focused in this game than yesterday.
Well, you start realizing the task at hand. You see Chicago winning their first series by a sweep. You see them up 3-1 right now. You see the Lakers sweeping their first round up 3-1 right now, and all of a sudden you see yourself being challenged in a 5-game series, and now in a situation you don't want to go 7, so the number of games you play in the playoffs start to take its toll. You want to get these series over with if you're supposed to win them.
Danny Ainge misses the lay-in. That foul was on Jeff Malone. 3 team fouls against the Jazz, 2 against the Blazers so far. Ronnie Nunn saw that war going on down deep between Buck Williams and Karl Malone and blew the whistle on Buck.
Well, this is the arm wrestling duel you're going to see. Buck Williams trying to do his best. I mean, Karl Malone is a load. There's almost a takedown. You had the half Nelson and the foul.
Big ratings on wrestling. We don't mind a little of that.
Now you see already Kevin Duckworth coming out of the game. Mike Brown coming into the game. So Mark Eaton coming out of the game. So taking a chance, both guys best big men.
Earl Bailey gets posted inside. Nice entry pass. He draws the foul and will go to the line. That's on Cliff Robinson.
When Rick Adelman took out Kevin Duckworth, immediately Jerry Sloan took out Mark Eaton. He feels right now he can get time out of Mike Brown rest Eaton, and when Duckworth comes back, he brings back Eaton. So there's the little strategy you already see here early in the game, resting Duckworth, and with the idea that they played games now 2 days in a row.
Utah going to the free throw line, a very important and significant factor anytime in the NBA. But look at this, 87% the Jazz are shooting.
I've always felt if Portland had a little bit of a weakness, it's that they're not great free throw shooting team, and you can see in the series, although they've gone there 13 more times, they have been out shot at the line by 3.
It's a 4-point Blazers lead. Minute 33 to go in the first. Danny Ainge over to Jerome Kersey, shooting it over. Thurl Bailey, big rebound to Jeff Malone.
Jerome Kersey shooting a lot of jump shots here in the first quarter.
John Stockton pulls it back, is looking to post up Thurl Bailey. He's got a mismatch against Ainge. They have to double team. Bailey puts the shot up, and he is fouled again. Danny Ainge called for the foul.
Good recognition. This is what good point guards are supposed to do. You see John Stockton waving over the offense, says get out of here so we can isolate. Let's get it into our big guy. We've got a mismatch, get a double team. He drew the foul. A strong move by Thurl Bailey taking the ball to the basket. That's what you want your 6'11" player to do when he's around the basket, not to fade away and shoot the little jump shot, especially when you're shooting 33% from the field.
Thurl Bailey went scoreless in one of the Phoenix-Utah playoff games, something very unusual for a consistent 6th Man of the Year candidate, as you look at Rick Adelman, the Portland Trail Blazers head coach. Bailey knocks him down, and Utah continues their torrid free throw shooting. 6 out of 6. Portland has yet to go to the line. Cliff Robinson against Mike Brown. The jump hook, nicely done by Cliff Robinson.
That's a nice move. He has the speed advantage over Mike Brown, so they stepped him out, let him isolate. He took it to the basket, but Mike Brown forced him to shoot a tough shot.
Now Stockton looking for Malone, posted down inside against Williams. Steps away from the basket a bit, looking to post Mike Brown against Cliff Robinson. There's the ball. Kicks it out to Bailey. He'll take it to the hoop. Stripped away. 5 seconds to shoot. And Jeff Malone gets the bucket before the shot clock expires.
Jeff Malone's playing a very solid first quarter defensively against Drexler, now Ainge, and also scoring very nicely. Made 2 or 3 real nice jump shots.
24-22 with 17 seconds to go in the quarter. 5 seconds for Portland to shoot. Porter gets his own rebound, throws up the shot, and cans it with 4.6 remaining in the first.
Still plenty of time. Oh, what a pass!
It was too late. The buzzer sounded at the end of the first quarter. The Blazers by 4, 26-22. It was tied at 28 in yesterday's game. Salt Palace in Salt Lake City, Utah. Portland leading this semifinal series 2-1 and leading as we go into the second quarter 26-22. Terry Porter with 8 of those 26 points, and they're rebounding well, the Portland Trail Blazers.
Well, good initial defense by the Utah Jazz. No one picks up the long rebound. Terry Porter, with the awareness that the shot clock and the game clock were winding down, only 4 seconds to go, gets the shot up. So if you're Rick Adelman, you have to like what you saw in the first quarter. You saw your team out rebound Utah 15-8. You also held them to 40% field goal shooting. You shot 48%. You got 7 more shots. Now the one concern is you didn't get to the free throw line. Utah did. So we had a very even first quarter, and Portland showing a little bit more animation and emotion in this ballgame than they did yesterday.
Stockton, Karl Malone, Mike Brown, Thurl Bailey, and Blue Edwards on the floor for Utah. Robinson to Danny Ainge on the drive, fouled from behind prior to the shot. Blue Edwards was reaching around, and that'll be the foul on Blue.
You know, we talked to the Portland coaches, and Rick Adelman really doesn't like to run a lot of plays, but he felt like that when he made some substitutions, and he has done that, he's come in now with Cliff Robinson and Danny Ainge, he might run some specific plays to try to get those guys some jump shots. You see him right now running things for Danny Ainge, looking to try to get him off.
Duckworth left alone from 16 feet. Rebound, Karl Malone.
That's about 1 step out of his range. That shot was just a little flat.
By the way, Blue Edwards personal, that's 2 on him relatively early in the game. Stockton gets the pick from Malone and the roll.
See, John Stockton does not panic. He keeps his dribble. He knows he's going to go into Karl Malone. He's just going to take his time.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Malone gets the roll. Hold it. That'll be Portland ball. He doesn't get the roll. He got the roll. He didn't get the basket.
Well, Thurl Bailey was upset, and Jerry Sloan, the fact he thought he got fouled on that offensive rebound.
The duck hook falls.
Now, what you
22 Blazers.
Well, with that duck hook falling, what that's going to do is that's going to bring Mark Eaton back in the ball game because Jerry Sloan does not want Duckworth to post up Mike Brown on the interior.
The big pick from Malone, the roll to the basket. Thurl Bailey left alone in the corner because Cliff Robinson hard to the hoop again, stripped away by Bailey. Karl Malone to Stockton. Mike Brown. Now Portland going to their half-court offense. Less comfortable in this than running and gunning. Into Buck Williams. It's out of bounds off Karl Malone with 9 on the shot clock.
Karl Malone would be a great heavyweight fighter. He has such quick hands. He was actually beaten on that play, and he got back in there and stripped the ball from Buck Williams. Watch this now. The pass is inside. He's beaten. He's fallen back, and look at him strip him down low. Just great hands by Karl Malone for a big guy to be able to break that play up.
Robinson hard to the hoop, right past Mark Eaton.
Well, that's what Cliff Robinson can do. He's about 6'10", 6'11". He's quick and he can finish around the basket. The one thing is he's not a good free throw shooter.
Thurl Bailey with the foul, and Mark Bryant coming into the ball game for Portland.
Cliff Robinson twice now has beaten his man off the dribble, going right to the middle. You see the slicing move actually to go around Mark Eaton. Slices in the lane and gets the foul. 1 for 4 from the free throw line yesterday. Only 7 for 13 in the series, 53%.
Robinson to the free throw line. As you can see, averaging 7 points and 4.5 rebounds. Pretty good numbers for his limited minutes. Rebound Eaton. With 9:54 to go in the half. A 4-point Portland Trailblazer lead.
Now, Karl Malone is out of the game, so look for Stockton to be a little bit more aggressive going to the basket.
There's that pick and roll, broken up nicely by Portland with 3 on the shot clock. It'll belong to Utah.
3 seconds.
Here comes Richard Davis into the ball game. And at the conclusion of tonight's game, Doug Collins and I will be selecting the Budweiser Player of the Game.
You got to keep Stockton from catching the ball in this possession. Make someone else try to beat you.
Stockton with the curl pass, but the violation as the shot clock expired.
Bob, with the shot clock winding down, the only creator on the floor is Stockton, so you can't let him catch it. They did a good job of double teaming him, forcing the shot clock violation.
Going to get some rest for Stockton here in a moment. Delaney Rudd will check in for Utah. Stockton with a foul on Danny Ainge. And Stockton will get a rest to think about his personal foul. And Delaney Rudd, who played well in relief of Stockton, to give him quite a bit more minutes of rest than I think Portland would like for him to have had yesterday.
You can see the strategy. They do not want Delaney Rudd playing against Terry Porter. So the minute Terry Porter goes out, they put him in to play against Danny Ainge.
Ainge with a long jumper from the perimeter.
That's where you get matchups in a series. Coaches know who they want certain guys playing against, so when substitutions are made, they follow suit.
6-point lead. That matches the Blazers' biggest lead of the game. Wave off that basket. We had the whistle from Paul Mahalik. It's on Mark Bryant, a defensive foul on Mark Bryant.
Now, with the team that Portland has on the floor right now, Danny Ainge is going to move to point guard, so he will not be as offensive-minded. He will look to be more of a passer. Look for them to try to get Walter Davis coming off some screens. They acquired him to make some shots and score some points for him off the bench. This is where they'll need him.
Inside to Mike Brown. Turnaround jump shot. Not exactly Mike's specialty, although he certainly played big yesterday with 12 rebounds. Rudd on Ainge. Robinson got free on the baseline, took it hard to the hoop, but paid the price as Mark Eaton hammers him to the floor.
I really like the way Cliff Robinson's going to the basket. The one thing you worry about, though, again, he is not a good free throw shooter. I watched him in the game the other day, and he was very frustrated when he got to the line and was not successful. But here he is on the baseline. Duckworth doing a good job clearing out on Mark Eaton to give him a little room to get inside. That's a big free throw right there. That relieves your mind a little bit. You walk up there, you've just missed one, you miss another one, and now you got to shoot the third one. So very important for him to step up there and make some free throws.
As he did. He was only 1 for 4 yesterday. Now the Blazers with their biggest lead of 8 points with 8:48 to go in the first half.
Well, this is where the Utah bench now on the floor, they're going to have to earn their money. Karl Malone sitting down as well as Stockton. So this team right now has got to be able to hold the fort so Jerry Sloan can get his players some rest. Otherwise, Portland will have a tremendous advantage in the second half because Drexler and some of these guys have been resting a long time.
Ainge with his second foul. Eaton will go to the free throw line. Clyde Drexler back in for Portland for Danny Ainge.
This is going to be interesting now. I don't know who's going to play point guard. It must be Clyde Drexler's now going to play point guard for this Portland team because both Ainge and Porter now on the bench. I have not seen this combination this year.
Earl Bailey, who's been struggling with his perimeter shooting, misses that one badly. Robinson on the run.
At the goaltend
on Mark Eaton. It had hit the glass, and then Eaton got it.
Boy, Cliff Robinson is doing a great job taking the ball to the basket. He is very, very authoritative in his moves right now. He looks like he loves this left side of the floor because that's where he's doing all of his damage. There's the goaltend. The ball was off the glass, and then once it's hit, it's too late.
Blazers by 10. Not much offensive punch on the floor for Utah right
Who's
now.
going to score? Is it going to be Thurl Bailey? Who's going to score with this team on the floor? Jerry Sloan realizes that, and in comes Karl Malone.
That was the third team foul against Portland. The next time the Jazz foul, they will be sending the Blazers to the free throw line.
Now, if I'm Rick Adelman, every time Karl Malone touches that ball in the post, I'm going to come double team and get it out of his hands. I'm going to make Delaney Rudd, Mike Brown, Blue Edwards, and Mark Eaton make shots against me with this team I have on the floor. So let's see what they do.
Into Malone. He steps away. He'll launch it. And miss it. Drexler running. Has Mark Bryant. Good lead pass. A 14-2 Portland run with 7 minutes 54 seconds remaining here in the first half of play. So the Blazers have their biggest lead of the game, a lead of 12 points. Well, the Blazers on a 14-2 run take a 38-26 lead. 5 different Blazers scored during that run, but Cliff Robinson was the active man going to the hoop.
Well, you see what a bench will do for you when you have to play 2 games in a row. Jerry Sloan realizes that as great a shape as Karl Malone and John Stockton are in, they have to have a little bit of rest. And when they rested, Portland took advantage of it. That'll be very interesting. John Stockton is going to come back in the ball game. Clyde Drexler was at the point guard. Jeff Malone is now back in. Clyde Drexler stays at the point guard position. We'll see how long that he plays against Stockton before Rick Adelman comes back in with Terry Porter.
Utah only 2 for 6 shooting so far this quarter, but that should change with more firepower on the floor now.
This is going to be an interesting matchup. It looks like Walter Davis is going to play Stockton. Let's see what this does to Jerry Sloan's mind about this matchup, because Stockton should be able to take him off the dribble.
We may get a chance to see it right away. They get Karl Malone freed on the baseline, and there he is posted.
There's the double up.
And Malone, good defense. 5 seconds to shoot. 4. Stockton misses the bucket. That was excellent defense by Portland. And then Portland doing what they love to do, and that's run.
Clyde Drexler pushing the ball off the floor, so you've got a different point guard in here right now. Here comes Terry Porter back, though. I don't think that Rick Adelman wants to stay with this lineup too long.
Earl Bailey's going to get on the floor in just a moment also as the coaches try the chess moves.
Nice pass.
Jeff Malone with the jump shot over Mark Bryant.
Now, Portland's got to keep running. They don't want to stay in their half-court game. Keep running. You have the advantage when you push it. You get into a half-court game, you allow this Utah Jazz to set their defense.
Flashing into the paint, Cliff Robinson. His turnaround jump shot doesn't go. Loose ball foul, Portland. It's on Mark Bryant, and it's his third personal foul. And it's time for the Chevrolet scoreboard. As you see, Chicago walloped Philadelphia 101-85 today. Great defense played by Chicago in that game.
Horace Grant had a real big game. Came back very strong. Did a great job defensively on Armand Gilliam after he had a 25-point third game.
And the Lakers beat Golden State 123-107. Chris Mullin struggled mightily today, and Sam Perkins played very big inside. That's the Chevrolet GMC truck scoreboard. There's the Mark Eaton short arm hook, and it's a 10-point Blazers lead.
Now, one thing Portland has not done well this season is play well with leads. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Duckworth misses the hook over Eaton. Eaton with the defensive board. His 6th rebound. Stockton kicks it back to Karl Malone. Malone struggling from the outside, but Stockton runs down the loose ball. Talk about the motor that makes the truck run. That's John Stockton.
This guy is such a tremendous player. For people who don't get to see him play very often, this guy is a gem. He is so good.
You just saw one of them right there. And Malone is now 3 for 9 from the floor and has 8 points. Stockton with the steal. Malone. Well, the crowd was ready to explode there and didn't get it. This has been a series of spurts for both teams.
Yes, it has. And right now, Portland has got to calm themselves down. Here's a steal by Stockton, just reading the eyes of Terry Porter, making the nice play. I think they're going to go to Drexler here, see if he can get a score against Jeff Malone.
They've isolated the side. He's going to get a pick out of Duckworth. And the answer is yes, he can get a score. 6 points for Drexler. Utah slowing it down. Thurl Bailey setting that baseline screen to try to get Malone posted down there. Good defense, and now Drexler has the run to Porter.
Watch Buck Williams again on the fly. He was filling the outside lane. But Terry Porter takes it all the way.
For 10 points. 44-32 Blazers. 4:48 to go in the first half. Malone once again trying to get around in front of Buck Williams down there. And Porter once again breaks it up from Stockton's. A foul from behind. Wave off the basket.
Terry Porter, 2 big plays. You don't see this happen very often. This is 2 straight possessions where Porter has very active hands. He bothers the passing lane of John Stockton. Good foul there by Thurl Bailey. He's going to make Terry Porter make 2 free throws. Clyde Drexler had a dunk at the end of that play, but the foul committed before the play was completed, so Porter now gets to the free throw line, and again, the active Portland defense has created turnovers, which has allowed them to get out now and run with the ball to get themselves back into the lead and get back to their 13-point lead.
4:33 to go in the half. There's what Terry Porter did in Game 3. Only 27 hours ago did that game end here in South Palace.
Looks like Utah this time down the floor is going to try to curl Jeff Malone, maybe off Karl Malone, and then try to post him up. We'll have to watch.
Jeff Malone down on the baseline. Looking to lose Drexler. Couldn't get it done. They get it into Karl Malone now. His own offensive board, and then he draws the foul, and they go to the line.
You think Karl Malone is strong? He looked down at Kevin Duckworth and Buck Williams have both been knocked down on the floor. Drexler comes in from behind, but watch this, brute force. Buck Williams is going to go down. There's 1. Now here goes Duckworth is now down. There's 2, and Drexler prevents the foul, or the layup, and gets the foul, so he's going to make Malone earn them, which is what you have to do in the playoffs. No dunks.
Malone has 1 field goal in this quarter, and that's all. Drexler has 2 personal fouls. Lou Edwards will be getting back into the game for Utah in a moment. He'll come in right now for Thurl Bailey. Blazers looking for their first win on the road during this playoffs in 1991.
And they're trying to get it against a team that has the first best record in the West, or tied for the best record in the West for home court. So they're 36-4 here at the Salt Palace. So it's not an easy place to win.
Drexler against Jeff Malone. Gets the bounce.
When you see him going in and out of Drexler, using his superior size, just posting up. Clyde Drexler's 6'7", probably about 215 pounds. He is a very difficult guy to play in the low post for a big guard.
Now Karl Malone's trying to play illegal defense call against Portland. There's something that's fun to watch. Malone, the point guard, trying to post up with John Stockton.
Stockton is one tough kid. I tell you, he and Mark Price set as good as screens for their big guys to get open underneath the basket. Look at him. He just throws his body in there, and he holds the screen to free his big guys. What a tremendous asset for this team.
Blazers by 15. Malone with the turnaround jumper. He has 11. Duckworth answers very quickly.
Mark Eaton is not getting back with him. He's trying, but Duckworth is outrunning him down the floor, and he's getting that little medium-range jump shot that we talked about. So Duckworth taking advantage of his mobility, something he normally doesn't have over the opposing center.
Stockworth with the drive, tied the hand to Eaton. Eaton wasn't ready for it. Edwards gets the loose ball and the bounce. Speaking of Duckworth, he had only 11 points in yesterday's game and has 12 already today. Tremendous difference in Kevin Duckworth. 13-point Blazers lead.
There's Drexler again in the post. There's that little shot.
Not this time. Buck Williams with the offensive board and the putback.
This is a different Portland team than we saw yesterday, Bob Neal. This is a team that's playing with much more enthusiasm, and they have dominated this first half.
That was the coaching theme, is we're not going to really make a lot of changes. You fellas just have to play with more intensity and enthusiasm. And they are.
I'm not in love with Drew Edwards shooting a lot of outside jump shots.
Stockton with the steal. To Edwards, he's fouled. It doesn't get the ball to follow. Duckworth picks up the personal. We have a timeout on the floor with 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first half of play, and the Trailblazers out in front 52-37. Well, the Blazers with a 15-point lead, 2:15 to go in the first half.
This is the importance of being able to post up your guard. What happens is the ball goes into the post to Drexler. And when it does, watch what it does to your defense. Look what it does to your big people. It brings them all the way over here, which now Buck Williams now is going to be checked out by a guard. You see him now. He's going to go to the opposite side of the board. Duckworth takes the shot. Now he's on the board against Jeff Malone. And what it does is it gives you 2 easy points. So the importance of being able to get a mismatch inside, it distorts the defense and gives you rebound opportunities.
Both teams over the limit, so they'll both be shooting free throws for the remaining 2 minutes, 15 seconds of this first half. The Blazers out by 15, and look at the rebounding difference. And you're looking at one of the masters of rebounding, Buck Williams.
I think this is a very critical time right now, more so for Portland than I do for Utah. And the reason I say that is because Portland has a tendency to, when they get a lead like this, to get a little lax, and they allow a team to get back into the ball game. And I think that they would like to go in there with a 15-point lead rather than a 7 or 8-point lead. And I know Rick Allen would probably talk to his team during the timeout about, let's keep going to them. Let's do not relax with this lead and allow them to cut it in going into the halftime break.
All right, we know it was 15 points with 2:15 to go. Let's see what the tone will be these final 2 minutes of the first half.
Watch Porter for a jump shot coming off the screen. Oh, what an acrobatic shot.
It won't fall, but Eaton couldn't hold on to it. Duckworth gets the basket and draws the foul. Duckworth with 14 first half points. Remember, he had only 11 all game yesterday. That foul was on Mark Eaton, his second.
Kevin Duckworth is a step quicker than Mark Eaton. So what's happening now, you see this acrobatic shot. Eaton goes over to give help. When the ball goes down, Duckworth reacts a little quicker. He's one step sooner there, and it causes the foul. Opportunity now for a three-point play. Kevin Duckworth has got some tendonitis in his left knee, and I think that when he went to the basket on that play, he got that knee kicked. It looked like it was very painful.
Mike Brown comes in for Mark Eaton. Duckworth converts the three-point opportunity. Lead of 16, and Mike with 15 points. Excuse me, Kevin with 15 points. Stockton with 10 seconds for his Jazz to get something started to Jeff Malone off the dribble. Mike Brown, now 3 seconds. Stockton for three. Mike Brown kept it alive, but now back comes Portland. 4-on-1. I bet I know what you're going to say. Should he have given that up?
Well, Drexler realizes that Stockton plays the passing lane for steals, and it looked like Stockton tried to fake at him and drop back to Porter to maybe bait him into a steal. Drexler, realizing he had the superior size, drove it right to the basket. Until he was going to stop him, he was going to keep his dribble. And that's what you teach guys. Until someone comes up to stop you, you take the ball to the basket. So I think that was a good play there. I think if he would have tried to make the pass, it looked like Stockton was laying there waiting to pick that pass off. So in that situation, Bob, I don't disagree with what Drexler did. I don't think that was a selfish play.
He gets 1 point instead of 2, and it's 56-39 Portland with a minute 22. Good play by John Stockton, in my opinion.
Well, they both made good plays.
7 seconds to shoot. Now down to 5. Malone muscles inside. And the crowd a little less enthusiastic in this game than yesterday, but one of the reasons is the double-digit lead by the Portland Trailblazers. That's one way to take the crowd out of the building. The crowd out of the game. Not out of the building, they don't. Duckworth, good defense by Mike Brown. Edwards cans the jumper, and the Jazz have pulled to within 13. Edwards has 8. 30 seconds remaining in the half.
See if they go to Drexler in the post against Jeff Malone. That's what they've tried to do.
Buck Williams, power move against Malone. Malone wanted Buck Williams to get called for the offensive foul, but it'll be on Malone. That's 2 on Carl.
Again, though, he has such quick hands. You think that Buck Williams has him beat. He looks like he's got the shot, and right at the last minute, he reaches in and knocks that ball loose. But again, they're forcing Karl Malone to play defense tonight against Buck Williams, Bob. They're not allowing him the luxury of floating around in there and then wearing you out on the offensive end. They're going to make him expend some energy, especially the fact that they're playing games back-to-back.
Coming up at halftime, the Prudential halftime report, which is only 20.4 seconds away. Buck Williams misses. Ernie Johnson will have scores and highlights from today's Bulls 76ers and Lakers Warriors games. He's also going to have a conversation with Celtics head coach Chris Ford. The Celtics holding a 2-1 lead over the Detroit Pistons. We'll have Detroit and Boston on TNT tomorrow night.
In the playoffs, Buck Williams 57% from the free throw line.
20.4 seconds remaining in the first half. Blazers have been able to hold on to most of that 15-point lead with 2:15 to go when we checked the score to see if Utah could go on a run.
Well, Stockton's going to try to penetrate, either find Karl Malone for a little jump shot, or he's going to look for the shot himself.
Off balance, he misses it, but a late whistle from Ronnie Nunn.
That was a late whistle. He was waiting to see if that shot was going to go in. The ball danced around up on the rim before we heard the whistle. This is the sneakiness of John Stockton. Raises you up, now he leans in underneath you. Still no whistle has been heard. Now all of a sudden the whistle blows. You see the strong rebound, you see the head turn. Hearing the whistle blow, Stockton at the line for 2.
Stockton with a rare miss. Utah 9 of 11 from the line, and Portland about even with Utah here in free throws now. We have a 20-second timeout on the floor called by Rick Adelman with 2.8 seconds remaining in the first half.
What they're going to use this 20-second timeout is they're going to make a substitution. They're going to bring Danny Ainge into the game, Cliff Robinson, 2 better ball handlers, 2 quicker players. Danny Ainge, a 3-point shooter, so they'd like to be able to get a shot off here. Probably Adelman setting up a play right now to get the ball in, push it ahead, maybe get a 3-point shot for Danny Ainge or Drexler.
Kind of an interesting shot there. The owner of the Utah Jazz, Larry Miller, sitting there in the purple shirt right behind the Portland bench, in on the timeout.
There he is.
57-43 Portland with 2.8 remaining. 57-44. 91 playoffs. They've repaired the shot clock. You'll notice it's in operation now above the backboard. Duckworth misses this one. Drexler saves it to Duckworth, a new shot clock.
Well, right, the same scenario already. Second shot opportunities. Let's see if the Blazers can cash in on them.
The drive and the kick. Kersey misses. Malone rebounds. So he has 1/3 of the rebounding total he had in the whole first half.
It's the bread and butter play right inside to Karl Malone.
They know that and switched on it, and the pass is made to Blue Edwards, who misses the jumper. Now Buck Williams isolated against Malone. Good move. Bad finger roll.
I think that Buck is so concerned about Malone reaching in and stripping him that he was so concerned about making the move that he didn't finish the shot.
Stockton on the drive, the kick to Karl Malone, who buries his jumper. Karl Malone has 15.
Looks like John Stockton got banged in the left knee. He's limping coming down the floor.
Drexler with Malone right in his face takes the jumper.
That's a tough shot. When a guy makes a shot, you just have to congratulate him on that one. A hand in the face, fading back.
Drexler with 11 points. Drexler is averaging a triple-double for the playoffs in 91. Stockton to Malone again after the drive. Not this time. It'll belong to Portland. Portland up by 13. Early moments of the third quarter from the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City. (59-46) Portland. 9:56 to go in the quarter. Stockton. And the foul is going to be called. Terry Porter.
What a great steal. He read the pass, and instead of coming in front of Terry Porter, he comes in behind him. Watch this now. The pass is coming, and instead of coming into the passing lane, he's going to come around behind him and sneak in from the blind side. Great steal that time by John Stockton.
Jeff Malone, quick move into the paint. There's the floater. He hasn't missed one of those tonight.
I think that's such a tough shot to defend. Getting it on that one leg, rising up and shooting it on the move.
Utah cutting into the lead, trailing by 11 now. Kersey trying to create something off the dribble. Portland has 10 to shoot. Rebound Blue Edwards, and now Utah runs. They have the numbers. Edwards can't save it.
Get it to your point guard, Jerome. That wasn't pretty. You got to get the ball to your point guard. Porter was running the lane.
Foul's going to be called on Eaton and Duckworth, and Eaton are having a few words, and Eaton is having a word with Paul Mahalik. Both teams now with one team foul here with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Into Buck Williams against Karl Malone.
They're really looking to post Buck Williams up more than I've seen in the past.
That time Malone went in for that reach that's been so effective, but he committed the foul, and that'll be 3 on Karl Malone.
Surprised Karl Malone's not getting a delay of game penalty here because he throws the ball all the way off the stanchion and runs all the way down the other end of the floor.
Mahalik is asking why no delay of game, and Rick Adelman is, and Mahalik is explaining it to him.
I think they just called it. I think they just said delay of the game. That was a late call. But he threw the ball off the basket and rolled all the way to the other end of the floor. That's either got to be delay of the game or a technical.
There he gives him the warning, and Buck Wiggins goes to the free throw line.
I think Rick Adelman probably wanted a technical foul on that.
Sure.
as you should, right?
I'd want it.
He's in an unbelievable pressure situation this year because everybody expects his team to win the championship. He knows that, and I think he's done a great job of keeping his team on an even keel and not overreacting. There's Malone. Now watch him. He's going to throw it off the basket and rolls all the way to the other end of the floor.
Yeah, he could have got a technical. But instead a warning. 61-48 Portland. 10 to shoot for Utah.
Jeff Malone had a big third quarter yesterday, 12 points. Drexler is really sticking to him right now.
Karl Malone fakes the drive and buries the jumper. He has 17. They're going to Buck Wiggins on the other side of the hoop. Duckworth crashing the board. Loose ball foul on Kevin. That'll be his second.
When you get Portland in a half-court game, you can defend them. You can see that right now. They're a team that's a high-octane team that thrives off steals, open floor play. Make them shoot jump shots in a half-court game.
Stockton is leveled down on the baseline.
Now that's what I'm talking about, John Stockton setting screens. Now here's your point guard going to go over and screen for your power forward to bring him to the low post to post up, and he just gets buried by Buck Williams. And you know what? He'll do it again. He'll do it the rest of the game to get Karl Malone the position down low.
Buck has 2 personal fouls now. Jazz trying to cut that Blazer lead to single digits. The floater. What a shot by Jeff Malone. He's made a living on it here tonight, and he'll go to the free throw line.
That curling shot, 1 foot, driving, falling, fading, and finishing.
I like that. Falling, fading, and finishing. Kersey got the personals. 2 fouls on Kersey now. And it's an 8-point Blazers lead. They've led by 13 going into this quarter. Jess Kersey with the call. And that will be 4 fouls on Martin.
Now that will hurt, because what that will do is that will give Duckworth the ability to post up now against Mike Brown, who is a big, strong kid, but he does not have the size to block shots. You see him in a position where he just roots Mark Eaton out and gets to the foul line and misses the first one.
So Eaton will go to the bench with 4, and Mike Brown will come into the ball game. Mike Brown played 9 minutes in the first half, had 2 points, and significantly from Utah's point of view, no rebounds. And he had 12 in yesterday's game.
Well, he's going to have to play the remainder of this quarter, so they're going to need him. And he's going to have to step up, and the big thing he's going to have to do is going to have to defend Duckworth in the low post.
Jazz trail by 9. Drexler got a hand on it that time. Into Buck Williams. Missed the lay-in on the lob from Terry Porter. Utah back quickly. They have the numbers. Kersey with the defensive rebound.
This is Portland's pace right here.
Rebound Jeff Malone. Once again,
here comes
Utah running.
Karl Malone on the side.
Karl Malone couldn't get the offensive tip, and we have a Portland foul. It's on Duckworth.
That was some frantic action and nothing happening for either team. Shots missed on both ends. Karl Malone filling the left lane.
That's 3 on Kevin Duckworth now, and 5 fouls on the Blazers relatively early in this period. 3 team fouls against Utah.
Well, the important thing right now is for Utah to realize that and try to wear them out inside. Keep going inside, taking the ball to the basket.
It seemed wide open on the other side.
Great recovery by Buck Williams. Stockton had a layup. It was a little slow pulling the trigger. They're going to go into Duckworth against Mike Brown. If he takes his time, he can get an easy shot.
Drexler over Mike Brown makes the pass to Porter, who's open. Stockton runs at him. Porter buries the Porter, hits the two-pointer. He was in three-point range, but stepped over the line. Now the Blazers back out by 11.
If you're Jerry Sloan, the one concern you have right now is you're playing uphill. You expend a lot of energy to try to get back in this ball game. It could tell in the fourth quarter if they're able to draw close.
And Mike Brown misses the jumper. A chance for the Blazers to rebuild that 13-point halftime lead. Thurl Bailey waiting on the sideline to enter the game for Utah. It seemed like Utah might want to be taking it to the hole a little bit because the Blazers have the 5 team fouls already.
I agree, and Mike Brown settled for a quick jump shot. That's something that Jerry Sloan does not want his team to do, to take the quick jump shots, because when you do, Portland rebounds it, and now they can get their transition game going. So they want to be a little more patient, get the ball in the hands of their scorers. Little trap here, defense, trying to force a turnover.
That was Stockton who came away with it, but Thurl Bailey hit Mike Brown right in the back with the pass.
Well, Thurl Bailey's got to recognize who he's passing to in that situation. Mike Brown is looking to change into the floor. You've got to get the ball to your point guard, not to your power forward or your center.
20 points for Duckworth now. Malone fouled as he gets into the paint by Duckworth, and that will be his 4th foul, which becomes significant here with 5 minutes to go in the quarter, and Cliff Robinson will check into the ballgame.
Well, Cliff Robinson will cause different kind of matchup problems in Duckworth. They're going to miss his power around the basket, but as we saw in the first half, Robinson's speed and quickness bothered the front line of the Utah Jazz. We'll see if he's as aggressive in the third and fourth quarters as he was in the first half.
Robinson had 6 points in only 7 minutes in the first half. Jeff Malone has 14 in this game. Karl Malone 19. They're the 2 leading scorers for Utah.
Now in the last possession, the Utah Jazz showed some trapping defense, and they got a turnover. Let's see after this free throw if they come back with it.
Blazers by 11. You talk about a fast team on the floor right now. You're talking about Portland.
When in doubt, post Drexler.
The ball belongs to Utah. Rick Adelman signaling that he wanted an illegal defense called against the Jazz.
That's going to be on Thurl Bailey, offensive foul.
That was some screen, he said, on Buck Williams. They've been having trouble running that play, curling Malone down the baseline, and they jam it up real well. I'm talking about Portland.
Absolutely. The Trailblazers have taken away the money play that Utah likes to run. That's the little rip screens to get Karl Malone to the post. They're jamming it up, and Utah's not able to execute it tonight.
Bailey found a way to beat it, but not without paying the penalty. Drexler, hard to the hoop, rebound Thurl Bailey, off to Stockton. Well played by Porter, who gets it ahead to Drexler, who hands it to Cliff Robinson.
Now, see, there's the unselfish play. That's why I felt while ago we talked about Drexler. Drexler's not a selfish player, Bob, and on the one fast break that he took it, that time you see him giving it up to Robinson.
13-point Blazers lead.
There's another offensive foul. That
Buck
time
Williams goes down again.
Karl Malone just threw Buck Williams down.
4 fouls on Karl Malone.
Now, what does that tell you? That says frustration. We're not being allowed to run our offense, and as a result, this is what happens. See, they're jamming the play up. Watch Malone here. He's just going to take and throw him back. That's a foul. Here's the trap.
Drexler splits the defenders. Karl Malone with the rebound. He has 8 in the game now, 5 in this quarter. wave off that basket.
Things are getting a little nasty here. Jerome Kersey and Mike Brown, as they were running down the floor, Mike Brown gave Jerome Kersey a little shot, and they always see the second one. And you see Kersey retaliate, and he gets the foul.
He has 3. Karl Malone, you see the emotion on his face. And Mike Brown will go to the free throw line. We'll get the crowd into it a little bit. You see that Jerry Sloan and Jess Kersey just had some very intimate conversation over there.
Yeah, they were talking about what a great job Jerry Sloan feels like the officials are doing in this game right now.
Mike Brown, who had 12 rebounds yesterday, has none in this game tonight.
Now, right now, Utah is going to have to hold the fort with Karl Malone on the bench with 4 fouls. 12-point lead. Let's see what Portland does.
That's good interior defense.
That's one of those bad shots that Portland will take when they less need them. They got to execute.
Jeff Malone hits it off the break. Jeff Malone with 17.
And Rick Adelman is going to call a timeout, and I guarantee you, right now, Portland has got to take care of business. They cannot allow Utah to cut into this lead. They've got to expand on it, so when he comes back, they keep this crowd out of the ball game.
The Malones, Karl and Jeff, had 15 of the 16 Utah points in this quarter. Illegal defense called against Utah. Rick Adelman's been trying to get that call now for about 15 minutes.
Well, that was on Mike Brown because it looked like Drexler was going to try to reverse for the alley-oop. Mike Brown read it, and he started to go back to give help. The pass was not made. First violation, so it'll only be a warning.
Sideline inbounds. Kersey into Porter to Drexler.
Watch Porter coming off a screen here.
Beautiful play.
Well, they did a good job executing. They love to get Drexler going to the basket. Porter off a staggered screen on the weak side. That time Kersey slipped it and got the score.
Blue Edwards looking for points. Hands it off to Mike Brown. With about 3 fakes, he finally gets it to fall and is fouled.
Well, that's where you want
5 points.
That's where you want Mike Brown. You want him inside because he'll work hard for you in there. I had the pleasure of coaching him for a year in Chicago. This guy will do anything you ask him to do. You see him pump faking and taking the ball to the basket strong. Opportunity for a 3-point play, and he's had a great playoff series. He'll make himself a lot of money in this league next year being a free agent.
Jess Kersey alone in the corner as Utah fell asleep. Excuse me, Jerome Kersey. I have Jess and Jerome here. They made a mistake, by the way, in print with these two guys. Jess, the referee, and Jerome Kersey. When he was drafted, they said they were father and son. Jess says, well, if I'm going to be the father, I want a percentage of his contract.
Well, see, Jess's son actually went to school with Jerome, so they've known each other for a long time.
I don't think he's getting the percentage of it.
No, I don't think so either.
Jerome Kersey went to Longwood College in Virginia.
Very similar to the Scottie Pippen story in Chicago when you look at a Jerome Kersey. Scottie Pippen from Central Arkansas, and you see what he's done in the NBA and what he means to Chicago Bulls.
11-point Blazers lead, 2:34 to go in the quarter. Now they're trying to post Blue Edwards down there against Kersey. Excellent interior defense here. And exterior by Portland. 3 seconds to shoot. Stockton has to lean in and throw up a prayer. Good pass, Blue Edwards to Stockton. He misses even that jump shot. You won't see that very often during the course of the season. Mike Brown stuck on Porter.
They ought to clear it out and let Mike Brown take him, or excuse me, Porter take him one-on-one.
They did. He did, and the foul.
That's good. That's good team play right there. Recognizing the mismatches and let the guy go with it. That's what you have to do in the playoffs. Every possession is so important. They recognize it. Porter moves to the line.
Second foul on Mike Brown.
Now this is where you have to really watch this Utah team. Stockton's out of the ball game to get some rest. Karl Malone is out of the ball game because of 4 fouls. You've got Delaney Rudd, Edwards, Thurl Bailey, Mike Brown, and Jeff Malone on the floor. With that team, Jeff Malone is going to have to score. He and Thurl Bailey, the other 3 guys, not prime-time scores. This is going to be a critical 153 right now for Utah to stay within this, 12, 13-point game.
There's Eaton and Malone on the bench as Porter at the line. The Blazers with the 12-point lead, 1:53 to go. in the third quarter. And Porter having one of his routine excellent nights. Mark Bryant will come on the floor next opportunity for Portland. All right, Delaney Rudd only gave Stockton 3 minutes of rest in the first half.
Doing a little passing game offense. Trying to get movement.
Edwards, no place to go. 8 seconds. Jeff Malone throws up a three-point. The offensive board goes to Mike Brown. And Cliff Robinson is called for the foul. And tomorrow we will have Boston-Detroit on at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Celtics lead 2-1 after hammering Detroit over the weekend. The Celtics' first ever win at the Palace. Pete Van Weerden will have that game for you.
Well, the Pistons now, they always say that they play the best when they've got their back to the wall and no place to go. We'll find out right now because they cannot lose that basketball game if they hope to win that series. They must win and then go up and find a way again to win in Boston Garden. Not an easy task for the Pistons. It looked like the Celtics played a great game yesterday. Got a great play out of those young guards.
Heard Chris Ford talking to Ernie Johnson at halftime about that. Typical as a coach, though, he says, that game's behind us.
Until you eliminate a team, you never talk about how well you played.
This time, Cliff Robinson takes it inside, gets the basket, and draws the foul for the three-point opportunity. Cliff Robinson has 10 points, and that's the third personal on Mike Brown.
He loves the left side of the floor. Here he is, slashing, slipping the screen, going right to the basket, drawing the foul, getting the contact, and finishing. I think that's the one thing that young players have to learn when they come into the NBA is to not be content with drawing the foul, but be able to finish it, get the score, and the free throw. That's what Cliff Robinson was able to do that time, although he did miss the free throw.
Portland by 14. Jeff Malone. Open on the baseline. He has 19.
Delaney Rudd's going to try to come up now, put some pressure on Danny Ainge, take him off the ball, so that'll make Drexler now handle the basketball a little bit. That's a little bit of their flexibility they have on their team.
Drexler sees that Jeff Malone was playing off. He steps up and takes the jumper, and he has 13 points, Clyde Drexler. Earl Bailey posted down low. Edwards throws up a brick. Jess Kersey with the foul.
They're going to call Mike Brown with a loose ball foul, so Mark Bryant will shoot 2 free throws. Now that's Mike Brown's fourth. That was not a good shot by Blue Edwards. He put it on the floor, faded back, never got a good look at the basket.
And he had 8 seconds left on the shot clock.
You'd like to have, but Jerry Sloan has no choice. He's got to rest Stockton if he has a chance to finish this game.
Blazers trying to build a 15-point lead. They have led by as many as 17 in this game and led by 13 at the half. Here comes Walter Davis off the bench for the final 30.3 seconds as Jerome Kersey sits down. Mark Bryant playing with a sore ankle. Also a tight hamstring on the left. But if you list injuries like that at this time of the year in the playoffs, you have to say something about every player on the roster.
Every player would be questionable for the game.
82-66 Portland.
This would be a big lift if Utah could score on this possession going into the fourth quarter.
About 5 seconds less on the shot clock than on the game clock. Delaney Rudd with the penetration. Edwards with the jumper from the corner. He gets this.
Stepped out of bounds.
Robinson turns it over with 3 seconds, 3.3 seconds remaining in the quarter, and an opportunity to pull to within 12.
And you got to make him come back to the backcourt. Now they're going to go to him to try to get him started in the fourth quarter.
Stockton, Malone, Bailey, Edwards, and Eaton on the floor for Utah. Edwards Taking a soft floater. This time he took his perimeter shot inside, and he has 2 consecutive field goals.
I like him taking it rather than just being an outside jump shooter, using his athletic ability and his leaping to get inside, make those little 10-foot jumpers instead of 18-footers.
Ainge for 3. You hear the chant of air ball here at the Salt Palace. Stockton sees a small opening. He hits the stanchion hard, missed the lay-in, but Cliff Robinson fouled him, and that is 4 on Robinson.
John Stockton's taking a beating in this series. Every time he goes to the basket, they try to pound him. You're going to see it right there, and then he falls, hits the basket support, falls on his wrist. He's had his left knee banged. He's been elbowed in the throat in this series by Buck Williams, but the little guy just gets off the floor and keeps coming at you.
Something his dad once said to Jerry Sloan, says, you know, sometimes I wonder if John wants to win too badly.
Well, that's a nice problem to have. And that's something to be proud of in a son. If somebody who wants to give it to you every night like that. And John Stockton is great. He really is. Coming out of Gonzaga College, the Jazz drafted and said, who's John Stockton, Gonzaga College? I think that's been answered.
Blazers by 10 as Utah battles to get back in this thing in the final quarter. 11 minutes to go.
Half-court game right now. Portland struggling to get a good shot. There's a block.
Eaton got his hand on it. Blue Edwards wisely held it up. Stockton will take charge now with 15 on the shot clock.
Thurl Bailey's posted up against Walter Davis. Looked like they wanted to go inside him. Now they're going to Blue Edwards.
Well, maybe Bailey will switch sides. Inside against Porter.
Illegal defense on Walter Davis.
Wave off the basket. Now they're discussing whether or not to count the basket.
If the whistle and the shot occur simultaneously on an illegal defense, the shot wins out over the call. That time, the shot came after the whistle, therefore the illegal defense will stand.
And wave off the basket, and Stockton will shoot the technical free throw as you see Buck Williams and Kersey back in for Robinson and Davis for Portland. But you might say a 3-point opportunity here. The technical free throw and then possession of the ball again, trailing by 10, now 9.
Well, if they get a 2-point basket or a 3-point play here, you're talking about now being a 6-7-point ball game with 10.5 minutes remaining. Far, far from over, believe me.
It's a 9-point Blazers lead. Karl Malone has suffered through his nightmarish third quarter again, but he's ready for the final throw. Pass inside the goal for the Jazz. Duckworth has trouble trying to get it over Eaton. 3-on-2. Karl Malone is fouled, comes away limping a bit.
Rick Adelman's
called on Porter.
Excuse me, Bob. Rick Adelman's going to have to get a timeout. Shot selection in the last 2 minutes has been just awful for Portland. Utah taking advantage of it. They're right back in the game.
10:03 remaining. They know it by the crowd noise they create here. They even have a noise meter. It's gone all the way to the top several times tonight.
They have a beautiful new 20,000-seat arena ready for next year, so the Jazz will have about 7,500 more fans they can get in to the ball games next year.
Karl Malone with 20 points.
It's an important possession right here for the Trailblazers. They've got to end this drought right now. Got to get them a good possession, a good shot. The last 2-3 shots have not been good ones, and Utah has taken advantage of it.
Malone knocks them both down. He has 21. Listen to this crowd. Foul on Eaton, that's 5.
You know, I'm a little surprised, unless it was to get Mark Eaton's 5th foul, but Rick Adelman goes inside to Duckworth. I know he had a big first half and has scored well, but he really has not been able to post up Mark Eaton that effectively. He did get the foul here, the push in the back.
And it does get him off the floor.
And it does get him off the floor, so if the goal was to get the 5th foul, goal accomplished.
Mike Brown checks back in.
Now Duckworth can post Mike Brown. Let's see if they go into that matchup.
Looking for something from Danny Ainge into Duckworth. Tough shot. Leads in and buries it. He leaned past Blue Edwards. We've seen him make many of those in his career.
That was a leaping leaner.
Sounds like Hot Rod Hundley.
That's who I got that from. That's exactly who it is.
Jeff Malone will be back into the ballgame for Utah in a moment. Mike Brown posted low. Malone. Tough shot by Karl Malone, and it will not fall. And Duckworth fell out of bounds because Malone stepped in front of Porter. And Duckworth had nobody to throw it to. That was a big play by Karl Malone.
There used to be a rule in the NBA. It was called a force out. Let's watch now. Mike Brown, a little push right there as he was running away. I think that was just a little bit of acting right there by Kevin Duckworth. You can't tell me that that push right there can push over a guy who weighs 300 pounds. I think a little acting there that cost him.
Didn't get a good review from the critics. Percy Mahalik.
That was two thumbs down.
84-77 Blazers. Inside to Mike Brown. Powers it up there. Can't get it to fall, but the foul is on Portland. That's the fourth on Jerome Kersey. Mike Brown was 4 out of 6 from the free throw line yesterday. He's knocking them down today, too. 5-point Blazers lead.
You know who has not touched the ball recently is Drexler. They got to get him involved. He's one of their big stars. He's their go-to guy. You got to get him involved in your offense.
Duckworth against Mike Brown. The hook doesn't fall. Rebound, Karl Malone. A chance to cut it to 3.
That's 3 minutes and 35 seconds.
And 2 points. Portland 1 for 5 shooting the ball. Portland has not been to the line. Utah has 7 for 7 at the line in this quarter. There's Drexler getting involved. He can't get it. Foul against Utah.
You got to get it to Drexler. He's got to touch the basketball.
By the way, the team foul situation, 3 against the Blazers and now 2 against Portland. That'll come into play shortly.
Now, I talked about emotion. Remember we talked about in the third quarter when you play uphill the whole game, how much it takes out of you to get back into the ball game. We see Drexler miss the free throw, but in many instances you play so hard to get back into the game, it really wears on you the last 2 minutes. If Utah can win this game late, you'll be able to thank this crowd because they've totally energized this team.
Drexler misses them both. Portland has missed 7 of 23 free throws tonight, and it's a 3-point Blazers lead.
Malone wants the ball. He wants it inside on Buck Williams.
It's 8, 7, 6. Shot clock ticking down. 5. Big rebound by Drexler.
Good job by Buck Williams. He pushed him off the block and made him shoot a tough outside shot.
Drexler has 12 rebounds in this game, averaging a triple-double against Utah in the playoffs. Offensive foul against Portland. And that's 5 if it's on Kersey. Check it. It's not on Kersey. It's on Buck Williams. That's 3 on Buck Williams.
Portland has got to get themselves focused right now. They're distracted. And well, they should be. This crowd is into it. Utah's making a run. The championship teams pull it together right now and get their composure back.
Off the baseline screen, Jeff Malone. Carries the jumper. It's a 1-point game. Drexler shoots an air ball. Buck Williams jumps over Stockton. Both of them go into the photography row. A chance for Utah to take the lead. They've trailed in the game by as many as 17, and we're down 13 at the half and 14 at the third quarter.
Bob, do you realize if they take the lead, they'll have overcome a 14-point lead in just over 5 minutes?
And they do! Portland has scored 2 points in the fourth quarter. It's deafening at the Cell Tower. We've got the foul against Utah. Duckworth misses the lay-in. It's on John Stockton, and that's his third.
Jeff Malone, you think he's paying dividends in the trade with Washington? What a tremendous shot here by Jeff Malone. That's one thing he does. He gives you another guy who will score in the playoffs, something they didn't have last year.
He has 23 points. Duckworth.
I would tell you, this game is wild. The bodies are flying. The crowd is crazy. This is like Chicago Stadium in here right now.
And that's saying something.
Yes, it is.
Stockton with 15 assists tonight on the drive. Takes it back out to Malone for the jumper. Doesn't get his 16th assist as it rattles out of there.
See, Portland has stopped running. Everything is in the half court right now.
Stockton fell down. Porter missed the jumper. Williams with a rebound. 1-point Blazers lead. 5:48 remaining. Kersey from long range. That's just what they want. Kersey shooting, and Mike Brown gets his first rebound of this game. But it was a big one. Trying to get Malone free inside. He's free. He got Buck Williams off balance. 25 for Malone. Duckworth.
This is when they miss Mark Eaton. He does not get that kind of position, and that's not to try to take a shot at Mike Brown. He's not 7'4". He's not going to be able to get him out of there, and I think it's an excellent timeout by Jerry Sloan. He sees his time getting tired. They're running on emotion right now.
The Jazz have pulled to within 1 point of the Blazers with
Charlotte must continue to attack the basket, especially with Eaton out of the ball game. They don't have a shot blocker in the game right now.
John Stockton controlling the ball to Jeff Malone. We have 4:54 to go. Jazz down by 1.
Guess who's going to get it?
Karl Malone, turnaround jumper. Rebound, Clyde Drexler. That'll quieten the crowd a bit. Kersey, speaking of inside, Kersey and Williams for Portland have only 2 field goals between them since the first quarter. Talking about the jump shooting and the outside play of Portland.
Right back inside to Duckworth against Mike Brown.
Basket interference. That ball will belong to Utah.
Well, Rick Adelman does not like that. He felt the ball was off the rim. The ball cannot be touched while it's on the rim. Let's take a look here now. Duckworth inside. Boy, that ball was off the rim. That was not a good call. The ball was off the rim.
Blazers by 1, 4:19 remaining. Now the screen for Jeff Malone with 10 on the shot clock. Mike Brown, his fadeaway baseline jumper, Mike Brown. He has 11 points.
Big Mike Brown.
Your guy. Malone tips it out of bounds. Portland will have 17 on the shot clock as the Blazers trail 89-88. Remember, Portland led in this game by 17 points.
They scored 6 points in 8 minutes in this quarter.
They've gotten themselves into the half-court game that Utah loves.
They could also score 15, 16, 17 points in 2 minutes. We'll have to keep our eye on them. Nice move there by Drexler. Again, that's something I guess I've been talking about here. You can't settle for the outside jumper, especially when the shot blocker's out of the game. Take it to the rim.
Lead seesawing now. Utah's never had the lead and the ball in this game.
Stockton's a sneaky three-point shooter. Keep that in mind as this game winds down.
Bailey back to Jeff Malone. Big rebound by Mike Brown, and he sticks it in. Mike Brown.
Mike Brown is playing tremendous basketball.
13 points. 3 minutes to go in this game. Utah foul. Doug, you and I have seen some games. The LA Golden State series was wild.
If people want an exciting game, they should just ask us to show up because we've had a bunch of them. Mike Brown again on the offensive board. You see him over Duckworth. Little dips his shoulder, bangs him just enough to get the shot off. Now remember also I talked about Portland, not a good free throw shooting team. Jerome Kersey in the mid-60s.
He buries this one. That foul, by the way, was the 4th on Thurl Bailey.
In a close game where his free throw shooting might decide if the advantage goes to Utah, they're on pace to see an all-time playoff record, 87% right now.
Kersey gets them both in the clutch this time. Blazers back on top by 1. 3 minutes to go in the game. Foul situations. 14 fouls on the Jazz, 3 against Portland. Inside to Karl Malone. The foul on Buck Williams. That will be his 4th.
I don't know how you can defend him any better than Buck Williams just did there. He was in position. It looked to me, from watching here, there's all kinds of arm wrestling going on. But once he gets the ball here, it looks to me like he jumps right into him. Now, Buck Williams had his hand down and hit him on the arm, but the contact was created by Karl Malone. That's a tough play.
Malone, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, has 11 rebounds in the game. Remember, only 3 at the half. He's 8 out of 9 at the line. Tied at 92. Portland has yet to win on the road in the playoffs this year.
Look for this next time down the floor for Drexler to run a little screen roll, try to get inside, take the ball to the basket. If he doesn't, be aware of Terry Porter coming off a staggered screen on the weak side. The play they've had success with, let's see if they go to it.
Malone, 27 points. Drexler. Here comes Porter. Doesn't get the roll. Good call, Coach. Do you have a wire going over the Rick Edelman's bench?
Well, you know, you try to look for tendencies right now in the game, and that's one thing that's worked for them. And you got to go to it. You've got to make the other team stop it. Now, if you're Jerry Sloan, do you ride out the rest of the game with Mike Brown, who's playing well, or do you come back with Mark Eaton for defense? It's a real dilemma right now, and as long as as long as Mike Brown's doing the job inside, you might have to stay with him. But that's the coaching dilemma, because if you don't win the game, that's what the press is going to ask you afterwards.
You know that story. So Bailey with 5 fouls. Porter hasn't missed from the line tonight. He's 5 out of 5. And it's a 1-point Blazers lead.
Guess who's going to touch it on the screen across here? Screen across and come to the post.
Jeff Malone, as they fly at him. Rebound, Karl Malone. Sticks it back in. 29 for Karl Malone. Down to the 2-minute mark. Blazers with 14 fouls. Jazz with 5. Duckworth is fouled inside.
See, Mike Brown just can't handle him in there. Mike Brown has given him some good things, but Duckworth realizes Mike Brown cannot block his shot. So he bangs him and turns and shoots the shot. Mike Brown, all he can do is reach in. Probably the best thing he could do right now is try to defend him without fouling him, because right now Portland trying to score from the field has been a real adventure for them in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, they've just been getting their points here. They only have 12 points in the 4th quarter, and most of them have been from the free throw line. Duckworth ties it at 95. He's 3 out of 4 from the line so far. Timeout situation, by the way. Portland 3 regular, no 20s, and Utah has 2 full and 1 20 remaining. 2 minutes to go in this ballgame. Nobody with a foul to give.
There's the play again. Malone coming to the post. Stockton will find him.
There he is against Buck Williams. Buck pushes him way off the block.
And a good job by Porter. You see him really putting pressure on Stockton so he can't see the floor.
Now they reverse it, try to post up Stockton. Malone shoots long, and Stockton rebounds. That is the reverse. Stockton hits the bucket. Oh, my! They reverse Pierce rolls.
You're right. Good call.
There's a big pick and the roll to Duckworth. Stockton gets leveled, and on the switch, Duckworth gets the baseline jumper. He has 28 big points. The lead keeps changing.
I know this sounds real elementary, real simple, but for Portland to win this game, they've got to get a stop and get a 3-point lead. They keep trading baskets. Last possession probably going to win this game.
Stockton on the drive. The foul and the basket is a 3-point opportunity for the Utah Jazz. Stockton now has 12. And you just saw the cream come to the top with John Stockton on the last 2 Utah possessions.
See, he set him up. He's been passing the whole game out of this. This time he takes it to the basket, and the sweet thing about it, he shoots it with his left hand. Boy, this is a big free throw. Would give him a 2-point lead, and the first, oh, he misses it.
Mike Brown almost got the rebound, but now 2 against 2. Porter loses the dribble. Collected by Kersey. Jazz by 1 minute to go in this ballgame.
They'll go right back inside to Duckworth. Oh, Mike Brown pulled him down.
That's 6 fouls on Mike Brown. That means Eaton will be back into the game for the final 1 minute.
Just pulled him down. You see Mike Brown, watch his shoulder, pulls him down there. Mike Brown played a great basketball game, and if Utah wins this, you can really thank him because he really gave them the lift they needed, especially when this team has played back-to-back games now, and someone on that bench had to perform.
So now Mark Eaton re-enters the game. That means it'll be tougher for Duckworth to post up. But Eaton's got 5 fouls, remember.
I think Jerry Sloan is going to call timeout after this, and I'll tell you why. First of all, to calm his team down, and secondly, they played so hard to get him some rest so they can come out with the bat. This game is for Utah, and the last minute and 1 second.
Utah with 1 regular and 1 20 timeout. Portland has 3 full, no 20-second timeouts. As you see the status there, both teams are in the penalties, no foul, and each team has scored on their last 6 possessions.
You got to defend without fouling here.
Karl Malone against Buck Williams. 10 to shoot. Karl Malone's turnaround jumper. 7 straight possessions. Utah has scored. Timeout, Portland. Malone with 31 points in this ballgame. I guess the third quarter is his nightmare. Open for the jumper. Drexler buries it.
That's the play they've gone to. Credit Rick Adelman. I love it when a coach goes back to a play that they haven't been able to stop.
30 seconds remaining in this game. 17 on the shot clock. Blazers by 1. Jeff Malone into Karl Malone. Steal by Drexler. Bad pass by Karl Malone.
They got to foul. Get the ball to your best free throw shooter. Porter's got to hold it here.
Karl Malone gets the foul with 13 seconds to go in the game. Blazers up by 1.
I'm a little surprised Karl Malone tried to make that pass to Thurl Bailey. He scored about every time down the floor, and he made a tough pass that Drexler read. Here it is. Here comes Thurl Bailey, and Drexler read it beautifully in the passing lane. Porter needs both these free throws to give them a 3-point lead.
You see what Porter sees behind the stanchion, but he drains it. Jerry Sloan with a play call from the sideline. 13 seconds remaining in the game.
I think you're going to see Utah push this ball up, probably not call timeout, let Stockton drive it, maybe get a quick 2 because there's still plenty of time. You don't need a 3 right now. You don't need a 3. Stockton's going to penetrate. If a 3's there, take it.
Now they have only 9 seconds. Stockton takes the 3. He misses it. Bailey gets the rebound. Back out.
Oh, he's got to throw it out for 3.
Karl Malone takes the 3. It would have counted, and the Blazers win 104-101. Their first playoff win on the road, but what a game we saw here tonight at the Salt Palace. And Portland takes a 3-1 lead as this series heads Tuesday night back to Oregon.
What a tremendous finish. So that's the last 2 games U of I have done has ended on a 3-point shot in the air that would have tied the ball game. So for the NBA viewers out there, you can't get a better better ball game than this. A gritty performance by Utah, and Portland just hang on and finish. Here's the three-point shot. Buck Williams fell asleep and didn't get up on Stockton.
Here's the last 5 seconds.
This is very similar to what happened in Golden State the other night. They get the second shot at the basket. Karl Malone gets it up. Looks like right on line. It doesn't go. And Portland with a hard-earned three.